welcome to the third CSD head-to-head of the season. Today's players are Allen Robinson versus Terrelle Pryor. The players have the same status in their respective teams. They are both the #1 receiver in Jacksonville and Washington, D.C. The reason they are pinned against each other is their similar ADP as wide receiver 7 versus 5. Leave a comment below with your pick of the two. First, let's take a look at Allen Robinson. From the Jaguars' opportunity pool and market share, Robinson gets 134 projected targets with 71 receptions. That is a lot lower than his 150 targets from last year, but with regression in mind, my projection has him with 73 receptions. His most targeted zone last year was the short left, with 28% of all targets coming in that zone. His most productive zone is the deep right, with 1.4 more yards per throw than other zones. These zones are important to keep in mind during the season against teams with weaknesses in those areas. He is projected to score 7.7 touchdowns next year. Now, let's take a look at Terrelle Pryor, and if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like button. From the Redskins' opportunity pool and market share, Pryor gets 111 projected targets with 81 receptions. That is a lot lower than his 141 targets from last year, but with more receptions thanks to Cousins being a better quarterback than what he had with the Browns. His most targeted zone of his career is the short right with 32%. His most productive zone is the deep middle with 1.5 more yards per throw to that zone than to other zones. And once again, these are important to keep in mind when pinned against different DSTs over the season. He is projected to score 6.5 touchdowns next year. Let's have a look at how they perform in different situations. Robinson is the better player when playing at home with quite a bit. However, Pryor has an even bigger advantage in away games. Robinson has a small advantage versus teams from the AFC. Pryor, which will be interesting next year, prefers teams from the NFC. Robinson is better when the Jaguars are winning compared to losing, while Pryor was better while the Browns was losing compared to winning, which is, well, no big surprise. Robinson playing at home versus a team from the AFC that they think the Jaguars will beat, and Pryor an away game versus a team from the NFC that they think that the Redskins will lose to are their best oppositions. Looking at the player's personal score projection, the advantage goes to Robinson over the entire season with 147.8 versus 118.8. When I adjust for quarterback tendencies, it gets really interesting. Robinson loses 20 points due to Bortles, while Pryor only drops 0.2 points from Cousins. Looking at their one-game ceiling, the advantage is still with Robinson. When we take a look at their floor, Robinson takes the sweep with 4 stats pointing his way compared to Pryor with 3.0 versus 1.5. Conclusion. Pryor is playing with a much better quarterback than what Robinson is, especially right now, if you've seen the preseason. All stats points in Robinson's favor. The unknown plays in Pryor's favor, while the known plays in A.Rob's favor. My pick is Allen Robinson with the closest of margins imaginable. Thank you for watching CSD Head-to-Head. Hit that subscribe button for more weekly content, and as always, the spreadsheets are dark and full of terror.